What's up, everybody? Welcome to the latest episode of my hip hop review. The album I'm about to do tonight is a long-awaited review, I should say. Inspectah Deck's Uncontrolled Substance, released in 1999 on Loud Records. In a way, I'm kind of a little bit irritated that I'm doing this review late because the way I set it up, I really wanted to do this review earlier this week. And now it's like, if it wasn't for that asshole that sent me that bullshit copy of this album, I would have done this review on time. So, cause I originally was supposed to do the You Got review today, but now I gotta push some shit back. I might have to do that review either Saturday or Sunday. Well, scratch that, not Saturday. Maybe, well, not Sunday either, cause I did the Heavy D review with Try. Shit, man. But I'm just glad I'm reviewing this album. That eBay shit kind of irritated the fuck out of me. It's like these fucking culture vultures, man. It's like he knew it was a promo copy. Okay, I'm sorry. I have to rant. I just have to rant right now because I'm just a little irritated right now. But motherfucker knew it was a promo copy with just 2 fucking songs of Uncontrolled Substance and shit. Hold up. I even got the promo right here. This was the promo and shit. Uncontrolled Substance. The album. It's like a promo copy. So me thinking it was a promo copy, it was just gonna be like a different album art, have all the tracks. Nah, this nigga just sent me the song Uncontrolled Substance with the song, and then it has the beat with it and shit like that. So I hit him up talking about, yo, I was like, yo, I'm not fucking with this shit right here. I'm not really fucking with this. I want my money back. He said, cool. So I was really gonna send him money back. I think about 1 or 2 days. Next thing you know, he's going to talk about, oh, I'm closing the return and shit. So I got mad. So now I'm just kind of irritated as fuck because this shit recently came, I think about 5-6 days ago. I've been so busy with work and shit like that. It's like I have a certain system, how I like to do my reviews and shit. And it just always makes me mad, like when I buy. That's why I don't really fuck with eBay like that, man. Like, well, not just eBay, but I know it's not just necessarily eBay, but at the same time, it's just like, if you knew it was a promo copy and it didn't have all the songs, say that shit. Like, cause you're wasting people's money and shit, dude. Like, but let me get into this review because I done wasted 2 minutes and shit. And you know what? It's just the fact that too. It's like, cause I also remember when I think I ordered Commons Like Water for Chocolate and shit like that, and I got the CD, and it was all broken in pieces and shit. It's like, that's why I'm kind of iffy about buying shit online and stuff. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's just that I just hate these culture vultures, man. I just had to let that shit out. But yeah. The album Inspectah Deck. You guys should know who Inspectah Deck is. He is a member of the infamous Wu-Tang Clan and shit like that. He's a member of the Wu-Tang Clan. He has always been like one of the most popular and lyrical members and shit like that. He was born in Brooklyn, but he grew up in Staten Island. You know, he went to school with Method Man, Raekwon, and Ghost and shit like that. Then fast forward to like when the Wu-Tang Clan blew up in '93, 36 Chambers came out, and Inspectah Deck was like one of the most standout members because of the fact, you know, he had like a high profile because of the fact, you know, he was on like a lot of the popular songs off that album, like Cream, The Mystery of Chex Box Thing, Protect Your Neck. And it got to the point where, like, you know, he was like one of the few Wu-Tang cats that, you know, people love to sample from and shit like that, you know. And also too, he was originally supposed to come out with the album in 1995 with this album. Well, not necessarily this album, but he was supposed to come out with a debut back in '95. But RZA had a flood. He had a flood in his basement and shit like that. He actually had 2 floods. One in '95 And then I think 1-2 years later, 97, when they reworked this album again, but then he had that other flood. And also, that same year, you can pretty much call like 97, 98 to be like his breakthrough years and shit like that as like a solo lyricist, because he was doing like, he had like a lot of high profile guest appearances on songs with like Pun and Gangstar and shit like that. And of course, you know, that first verse in Triumph off the Wu-Tang Forever album, like, my God. Like, for real though. One of the most iconic hip-hop verses ever, in my opinion. And also, the fact that this album took too long to release too was because he had label issues as well, because although he was originally signed to Loud Records, BMG dropped Loud Records and stuff like that, so Sony kind of bought Loud, and his album kind of got pushed back because, you know, label politics and shit, so they had to wait another 2 years just for this album to be released. And so this album was finally released in 1999. Pretty dope album cover. Well, yeah, pretty dope album cover, you know. I feel like he's about to go to his car and some dog is just intruding in space and some shit like that. Whatever you want to call it. Singles. Let's see the singles. Singles albums known for are Uncontrolled, Forget Me Not, Show and Prove, Word on the Street, and Movers and Shakers. Oh, I forgot to mention, if you guys are interested into hearing what his album might have sounded like back in 95, check out 2 songs. One of them was called Let Me At 'Em, which features Wu-Tang off the Tales from the Hood soundtrack, and the other song is Semi-Automatic Rap Full Metal Jacket, featuring You Got a Street Life from the High School High soundtrack. So, in case you guys are wondering what the album might have sounded like, check those songs out. So yeah, just see Inspectah Deck just chilling. Plus some motherfucking police and shit. Yeah, fuck them. More pictures. Alright, guest appearances include, LA the Dark Man, Beretta 9, Killer Sin, Street Life, Shaddy, You God, Vinia Mojita, Master Killer. Producers include Fourth Disciple, The Black and Smith, Inspectah Deck, yes, he makes his beats, Mathematics, underrated producer, Pete Rock, he returns again for a Wu-Tang album, RZA, barely, True Master, and VIC. Okay, 17 songs. Track number 1, the intro. Inspectah Deck kind of made the beat. That's a pretty dope intro. It's pretty solid. Track number 2, Movers and Shakers. That's a pretty dope song. Nice way to start off the album. RZA actually produced that beat, and it's actually one of the best RZA beats he done in his second wave and shit like that. He has definitely that vintage Wu-Tang sound I love. Track number 3, Ninth Chamber, featuring LA the Dark Man, Beretta 9, Killer Sin, and Street Life. Man, this has got to be one of the most slept on Wu-Tang posse cuts I've ever heard. I mean, damn, man, like, LA the Dark Man is just one of my favorite Wu affiliates and shit like that. And I just wish that he would have had more like Wu placements in the future and shit, but it is what it is. I actually wrote some of his lyrics down and shit. I'm just gonna pull them out. And again, my apologies for that little rant. I just had to let that shit out because I'm just kind of upset that the motherfuckers. I'm gonna call eBay tonight actually. Cause I'll be damned if that motherfucker. I'll be damned if that motherfucker is gonna scam me and shit. But his dad should have used the condom low key. But let me stop. And you guys need to forgive me for my rant, because I had a couple of shots to drink this whole day, so I just been kind of, eh. So a lot of Darkman, some of his lines were like, yo, I'm known to spit poems, throw dice and hold tones, show ice puff bones, hit beats like Larry Holmes. Through the Valley of Kings, you catch the Killer Bee sting, trying to pick up you fucking with that Archbishop. Define me is like starting rap World War III. You rather sell your key to NYPD, like, dude is fucking lyrical, man. What's the next song? Next song, Uncontrolled Substance, featuring Shadi. That's a pretty cool song. I felt like Mathematics had one of his best beats with that song and shit like that. Very dope beat. Yeah. Next song, Female Fatale. It's pretty much a sex song. Inspectah Deck made the beat. And you know, one thing I've noticed about Inspectah Deck's beats is like, compared to like the traditional Wu sound, you know, with like the dark undertones and shit, his productions are like more emphasis on like funk and the horns and things of that nature. So I'm just like, yeah, pretty dope producer and shit, you know what I'm saying? Track number 6, The Grand Pricks. Let me see what that song's about. That's like one of my favorite songs off the album. It's like Inspectah Deck just rapping his ass off with that song and shit. Very dope. Track number 7, Forget Me Not. Oh, Grand Pricks featuring You Got a Street Life. Track number 7, Forget Me Not. That song, I think that song features You Got as well. Let me double check. No, it's just Deck solo track. It's basically talking about how he talks about these 3 girls in 3 verses and shit. The first verse he's talking about this church girl and shit like that. The second verse he's talking about this bad relationship he was in and shit. And the third verse he's talking about this obscene phone call that he received and shit. This song was okay, not really one of my favorite songs. The beat could have been a little bit better. Track number 8, Longevity featuring You God. This is actually I love this song because what I got from this song was bigging up the Wu-Tang, basically. Like, talking about how we still in it together, we still stronger and shit. So yeah, that's what I got. Then we have Word on the Street. That's alright. Track number 10, Elevation. That is my shit right there. We are dun dun. And that David Axelrod beat, that David Axelrod sample has been used countless times in like the Wu Circle and shit like that. But I felt like Inspectah Deck used that sample the best and shit, in my opinion. Just fit the whole album vibe. And what I got from Elevation, it's supposed to be like an uplifting kind of song where he's talking about throughout the trials and tribulations and shit like that. This is what I got from it. You just gotta elevate yourself. You gotta be up there and shit. You can't just dwell in negativity. Track number 11, Loving You featuring Loud of Darkman. Let's see. It's another female track. What was that? Track number 12, Trouble Man featuring Vania Mojita. Again, I mentioned her a couple of times throughout this channel. She's definitely affiliated with Pete Rock. She sings and shit like that. Dope singer. That was a pretty cool song. It's just talking about what Inspectah Deck sees in his environment throughout a daily basis. That's what I got from it. Both Rec Room and Friction, those were okay. Hypodermics, that was alright. Show Improve was dope. I love Show Improve, and The Cause was pretty cool too. But yeah, that's all the tracks off this album. To be honest with you, I know a lot of Wu-Tang heads put this album in high regard, saying it's a classic and shit. While I do appreciate this album, I can never call this album a classic. Cause I felt like, you know, to be honest, you know, and it's not nothing against Inspectah Deck, because Inspectah Deck does his thing. But there's a couple of gripes I have. I felt like some tracks on the album fit more on like their guest appearance respective albums and shit like that. I don't know if it's just me. I felt like some of the production, like this album, you can tell like they had to work with what they got due to like the 2 floods that happened and shit. And I felt like some of the beats does not really do that justice and shit. Now, don't get me wrong, this is still a dope album because of the fact that Inspectah Deck, he proves he can carry an album by himself. The guest appearances was definitely kept at a minimum, which I love and respect about this album. I just never would call it a classic album because like it's a near classic. I'll call it maybe like a near classic, but I just wish someday they would cut some tracks off and the beats were just a tad bit better. But yeah, Inspectah Deck's Uncontrolled Substance, released in 1999, and like I know originally I did say I was going to do a double review between this album and You God's album, but this whole week has been kind of crazy, so I'm going to definitely listen to that album tomorrow, and I'll see when I'll do the review and shit, because this whole shit just kind of irritated me, and I really wanted to review this album with the album in present. So, Inspectah Deck's Uncontrolled Substance, 1999. If you can find this album, pick it up, because I don't know if this album's in print or not. It might be a bit hard to come by though, but yeah. And that's all the time I have. Stay tuned for more. Peace.